Hello and welcome back to OC Aviary. Now today's video I'm going to be providing you with a general idea of what you can see on the channel this year and really breeding plans for 2021, different events and different things to look forward to which you'll see on the channel, which I'll explain to you in a bit more detail a little later on in this video. Also, I'm going to be providing you with a general update on all of the birds, as I noticed that a lot of people have been saying that they want to see something in particular. They might have not seen the bullfinches in a few episodes' time, or the crossbills, or the yellowhammers. So I thought what I'll do in this episode is I'll run you through each bird in each cage, what's there, and really just a quick overall idea of what they're doing and what the plans are for this year with those individual birds. And then we'll end the show by looking at some of the best show birds that I've got. Now, what is important to remember that these birds will be plucked from the flights, and really they're all in the large cages and getting flights, so they are fit and they're not they haven't got excess weight on them, so they aren't in top show condition, but they are some of my top birds to look at, and hopefully birds that we can get to the shows by the end of this year, and hopefully breed some youngsters from, which we can take to the shows as well. So I'm going to start off by giving you an idea of what you can see on the channel this year, different aims and plans for this year, and really exciting things to look forward to seeing in over the next year, really. So I'll start off with breeding plans, because obviously the breeding season is coming up shortly. Now, the birds that I'm planning on going into the breeding season with, we're going to be having 8 pairs of red polls in. We're going to have 6 pairs in this block and 2 pairs here and in the cage below. We're going to be having 2 pairs of siskins. One pair will be sharing a flight with a pair of greenfinches, probably a pair of pied greenfinches or a pair of normal greenfinches. The others will be sharing a flight with the yellowhammers, and potentially we might try a bit of a different mix. Maybe we'll move them from there if they aren't working with the yellowhammers, but we'll have to see what happens. So that's 2 pairs of siskins, 8 pairs of red polls. We'll be going for 4 pairs of greenfinches. There should have been 5, as I should be getting a pair from Ireland. However, with all of the restrictions, walkers now aren't doing European deliveries or EU deliveries, so they'll only transport within the UK now, which is a shame. So I won't be able to get the greenfinches in from Ireland, or at least, I think it's Republic of Ireland, so obviously they're still in the EU. They can't transport into the UK as freely, so it's something that I'm going to have to take into account, and hopefully we might get them if someone is able to, but I do know that there's a fee and there's vet costs and quarantines and all sorts of different things which restrict that. But it should be 4 pairs of greenfinches. We'll be having at least 2 pied producing pairs. We've got 2 pied cocks in visual pieds. We do have a silver pied visual cock, but he's so smallly pied. He's got a white toenail which makes him pied, which is what's produced a pied youngster this year. So there'll be a few pairs of greenfinches, normals, agats and pieds, so that's something to look forward to. We'll be going for a pair of Siberian bullfinches. The cock is split for pastel, so we'll be producing mutation bullfinches as well. They will be sharing with a trio of Siberian goldfinches. The cock is a normal split Umo. One of the hens is a normal split Umo as well. I don't know if Umo can carry like that. I will have to check that. And we have an agate hen as well, who I believe is split for another colour, but I'd have to check that. But either way, it'll be something fun to see what comes out this year with those, obviously giving us the chance to get a goldfinch, bullfinch, Siberian, obviously, in one of the largest flight. We've got 2 pairs of crossbills, which I'll be providing you an update on a little later, because we've got some exciting news and developments. We'll be going for a pair of yellowhammers, and then we have the hybrid pairs as well, which is something to take into account in the mules. So we'll have the goldfinch mule pair here, so that's a native goldfinch to red-eyed satinet canary hen. We have the siskin cross red poll pair in here, so normal siskin cock, cinnamon red poll hen. We'll have to see what happens there. But obviously none of the youngsters will be the cinnamon mutation, because it's the hen who's carrying that, unless it was a cinnamon red poll cock to a siskin hen, or obviously a mutation of the siskin cock. We have the green finch mule pair in the other shed, so Norwich cock to a green finch hen, and then we have the green finch cock split for agate, and he could be a pied, actually a very dark pied green finch, to a crossbill hen. So that's something exciting to look forward to, getting these mules and hybrids out hopefully, and we'll have to see how they progress throughout the year. Then also just to remember and mention that we do have the canaries as well, which will be breeding in these cages. So we have 2 pairs of Norwich. We'll be having a pair of variegated, so a normal variegated cock to a lightly variegated or tix hen, and then we'll be having a green Norwich cock to I believe it's an allied to white, or a blue variegated as I call it, a blue and white variegated, and then we'll be having a pair of red-eyed satinets, a pair of yellow diamorphics, and hopefully we should be getting in another pair of yellow diamorphics or some other new colours. I haven't decided yet, the breeder is still sorting the birds out, but once I know, obviously I'll let you guys know and I'll show you the birds once we get them. So that's really the breeding plans for this year. You know, I'm looking at actually maybe getting some more flights, but it's going to be something I work on over the next month or so, as a little bit of room has been freed up in the garden, which I'm hoping I might be able to take over instead of having my parents just want to leave it as grass. So fingers crossed for that. That's the breeding plans. So I'll talk about some other bits now. So I'm going to try and take you through the year chronologically with events that we can expect to see. So really, obviously, we've got the breeding season starting now for the crossbills. The canaries will start about the end of February, early March. Green finches will be mid-March. Siskins will be April. Red polls will be about April, mid-April. Goldfinches, bullfinches will be late April, May time. Yellow hammers will be about April time, May. And different things like that. So it's going to be quite a busy year with breeding, at least. Now, there's certain events that I want to mention, so hopefully we should be getting a visit from Matt Held of the Canary Room. So that will be about March, April time, around the start of the breeding season. But it's COVID permitting, so it is going to depend on when Matt can get over, and obviously when the restrictions allow for that. But I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that we should have a visit from Matt you know, around mid-breeding season. So that's something to look forward to. Matt will be filming a video here, and I'll probably try and get a video filmed with Matt as well. So you'll see a tour of everything I've got here on Matt's channel, the Canary Room, just there. And then I'll do a video with Matt. I'll probably do maybe an interview with Matt or something. If you have any suggestions, please leave them in the comments below for what you would like to, you know, if there's something particular you'd like me to see do as a, you know, as a joint with the Canary Room. Now, really, as it goes for the summer, not much events going on. It's, you know, height of breeding season, so we might be getting a few visits, and we might be visiting a few places. But it's all, again, COVID restrictions permitting, and obviously there's no shows or anything on like that. Now, I'm hoping that the national exhibition will be going on in October at Stafford. So we'll be getting the young birds all prepared for that, and the adults. Hopefully we should have them molted out quite nicely by that time and get the weight on them. So I will be showing it at the national exhibition, should it be on. So you can expect to see me at Stafford if it is on, obviously, a COVID permitting again. I'll be taking some of my better birds, so I'll have a couple of red polls in there. There'll be some green finches most likely. Probably crossbills as well, they'll be about ready. We might get a couple of northern birds in as well, but ultimately it's going to depend on what we breed this season, as to who will actually be going and competing at the national exhibition. I'll also be filming a video at Stafford. We'll have a walk around, we'll talk to different people, a few quick interviews with different people, and really just looking at all the birds available and a good idea of what you can expect to see at the show, if you haven't been before and you want to get an idea before you go. In autumn, around November time, we should be going to film at a Colour Canary show. So I've been invited to a Midlands, I think the Midlands Colour Canary show to film. So I should be doing that is the plan. I'll be filming there, and you can have a good look at all the colour canaries and the judging process and different things, because I want to try and encourage a lot of my viewers to get into showing if you haven't already. It's really good fun, to be honest. You don't have to take it seriously, you know. I obviously take the better birds I've got, but ultimately it's just a nice day out. It's good fun just to get your birds in, compare them to other people, and there's never any harsh feelings, you know, that someone's beating you on our birds. It's up to you, but it's just a bit of a fun event to do. I steward at some of my local shows, so I steward at the Ilkeston and Narrowash Cage Bird Society shows. Probably volunteer for the Yorkshire British Bird, Mule and Hybrid Club. They actually host the national Stafford, yeah, for the British bird side anyway, but we'll have to see what happens there. All sorts of things you can expect to see. I'll be filming a lot of other shows, local shows, probably, or hopefully the All British show. I'm hoping I might be able to get over to Ireland as well and film a show there and actually compete in that, but we'll have to see what happens. I did want to go to the Golden Ring and the World Show, but then again, I only really want to be going if I can actually get my birds in, or I am over there at the time doing other things, and it just so happens to be on around the same time. Obviously with Brexit and all that, we can't actually transport a lot of the birds out of the UK, or into the UK, which is an issue. So when it comes to actually wanting to get our birds in the Golden Ring, for example, or the World Show, it's going to be a very difficult one to do. Obviously, really, I think you could say that the pinnacle now for UK exhibitors would be the National at Stafford. Yeah, there's a Stafford National to take into account. That'll be that. The All British, but they're really the main shows. So we'll be filming at all those. We're having visits. We'll be going visiting places, and really it should be a very good year for the channel and a lot of exciting content to see. So make sure that you are subscribed to that, because you won't want to miss it. It'll be really enjoyable, and there'll be plenty of videos coming out over this year. I'm aiming for probably about 100 videos. I generally do one video a week, but obviously, as you've seen, I do a couple of other ones, so I'll be doing promotions for certain products so that you guys can understand how to use them and encourage you to buy them should you want to. Doing short videos like the video this week with the egg food, making egg food, so that's conditioned egg food I did this week. And once we've got chicks, I'll be doing the actual rearing egg food, germinating seeds, short videos on that, loads of short videos. Loads of things to look forward to, so you don't want to miss that. So I'm just going to give you a rundown of all the birds. So here we have the Goldfinch Mule pair, native Goldfinch cock, satinet, red-eyed satinet canary hen there. Below we have the Siskin cross red poll hybrid pair. So there'll be something exciting to see what happens. I think that's probably one of the easiest hybrids to do, really. I mean, Siskins are quite easy to breed, and so are the red polls. And Siskin cocks will pretty much mate with anything, as I found this year when I bred some Siskin mules. We have the canary hens below. So in here are the four I've got currently. We've got the Allied to White Norwich, dare I say. We've got the Tick Norwich just across now. We've got the Satinet, red-eyed Satinet hen there, and then bottom right we have the yellow mosaic hen there. These are all obviously being conditioned for the moment, so that'll be something exciting. Within a few months, hopefully, we should have some young canaries. So then we'll just move down here. In here we've got the Siskins. One of these is a bird I'll be showing you a little later. It's one of my best show birds, which I bred this year. Absolutely cracking Siskin hen in there. So that's 3 Siskin cocks, 3 Siskin hens. A pair is already reserved and has an extra reserve on because I can't really be having 3 pairs. We've got the red poll hens in here. We've got normals, cobalts, cinnamon cobalts, silver cobalts in there. I don't believe I have any other mutations there, all of them rather darker coloured birds. We have the red poll cocks in here. Obviously we've got the new mutation pied cock there, which came out of 2 normals. Isabel there, cobalt, so agate pastel. We've got a cinnamon in there as well. We've got a normal pastel shooting about as well. Yeah, we've got some really nice birds in there. So in the largest flight in here, we have the canary cocks. So we've got 2 Norwich in here, a yellow mosaic, yellow dimorphic, and a red-eyed satinet cock in here. We also have green finch cocks. So we've got 2 light pied green finch cocks. Both of them there, one there, and the other starting about. We've got the agate pied there, who's really a dark pied. We've got a normal split agate there. There's a couple of mules in here as well. So there's a Siskin mule darting about, which I bred this year, and a red pole mule down there. And we also have a chaffinch cock who is going to a new home shortly, as I'm not carrying on with the chaffinches, at least this year. Really had quite a nightmare with them, as you may remember. We bred a few. We had 2 youngsters. They made it to a week old. I rang them, and then the hen sadly killed them, stopped feeding them. So we didn't get anything out of the chaffinches, which was quite unlucky, and then I lost the hen. So we won't be carrying on with the chaffinches. There might be something to get back in a year or so, and maybe we look at doing a chaffinch hybrid. Maybe we do greenfinch chaffinch or something along those lines. In the next flight along, we have greenfinch hens and goldfinch mule hens, and there's a Siskin mule hen in here as well. We've got an agate greenfinch hen. We've got 3 normal greenfinch hens, really nice birds of good quality. We've got a few goldfinch mule hens, I believe it's 3, and a Siskin mule hen there in the centre. So these are just out here getting fit at the moment. They've been out here all winter. They've been absolutely fine without any issues with cold or anything like that, and getting on just fine. So it's keeping the weight off them, and they'll be in great breeding condition. By the time it comes to breeding season, obviously the mule hens will be as feeders, as I don't expect them to be fertile or do anything other than feed chicks, which will probably be canaries, to be fair, and maybe a siskin or 2 and a red poll or 2. In this flight here, we have the crossbill pair, or one of the crossbill pairs. This is a this is probably my best crossbill sat here. These are the best 2 birds, the best cock and the best hen. The cock obviously is colour fed, as you can see, and the hen isn't. I bred off the hen this year. She produced some cracking youngsters, and then the cock bird is from a very successful and very nice line. Also, the cock bird could potentially throw pied, because I believe it may have been his father or even his grandfather actually produced some pieds out of nowhere this year, which are very interesting and very exciting. So there's a potential we could actually have pied crossbills this year. So also, I said I'd provide you an update, and an exciting update on the crossbills. Now, this is for the pair we just looked at. We've got the nest over here, nothing really been touched, but we have this nest. And as you can see, the hen has began filling the nest, putting nest material in there and actually building. So fingers crossed, we might, or hopefully, should have a crossbill nest within the next week or so. The hen who's building this nest actually built me a nest in 3 days when I bred her off her last year. So I'm really hoping we'll get a similar result, and hopefully maybe by next week's video we may have a full complete nest. But either way, it's being built, and that's a really good sign for the crossbills. And then in the final flight, we have another pair of crossbills, both uncolour fed. The cock is from Belgium. I had him in around February in 2020, and then the hen I bought at Stafford in October 2019. I bred off the cock. He bred with the other hen last year. This hen actually paired with a red poll mule in a mixed flight, produced 2 full eggs from a red poll mule. So I do have a fertile red poll mule, which I'll be working out what to pair him to this year. But she sadly, the eggs stopped developing around I want to say about 8 days time. But either way, we have a fertile red poll mule, and I know that she can breed, obviously, but we didn't get any youngsters from her. But that'll be interesting. That's exciting. Now, I like to think of these as my wild type crossbills, with the other pair being my exhibitions, and the reason being is the other pair are have a lot more characteristics which are perfect for exhibition crossbills, with these being lighter birds with smaller heads. But either way, something I can enjoy, and I'll probably look to maybe move this pair on at the end of the year. We'll have to see how they perform. As it goes for nests, no development in either of them, but that's fine, because we're the first week in January, so it's nothing to be concerned about. Moving along to the more private flight, we have the Greenfinch Crossbill hybrid pair. As you can see, the nest pans are in, but they haven't got anything in at all. So I've just put those in so I can actually put up the Christmas tree and the cover around them whilst I've got it. So then I can just put the nest liners in a little later, which will probably be about the end of February. Hopefully the Greenfinch should be in good condition by then. With the crossbill obviously being in full swing. That is the crossbill hen I actually bred this year, or sorry, last year, off the hen who started building with the cock in from Belgium, and obviously I bred the Greenfinch cock, who is split for a gate and potentially a pied. I believe he has a white toenail, so he could actually be a pied anyway. But either way, that's the hybrid pair. I have seen them feeding each other and they do get on really well. So I'm hoping we might have some Greenfinch crossbills within the next few months. So then we make it into the large finch shed. Now this is where I'll be breeding some of my greenfinches this year. We'll probably have the goldfinch mule in one of those cages. We'll have the greenfinch mule pair up here, two greenfinch pairs here, a greenfinch pair there. That'll be a spare cage or for a feeder pair. And then we have this whole cage here. As you've noticed, we have new cage fronts on there. So I've taken the wooden doors off so they don't look like rabbit hutches anymore, and have a much better solution with actual cage fronts. I had two spare, which I had from Super Pets earlier in the year when I built some cages. So I modified the cage fronts. Obviously they need painting, but it's something that I can do. It's just whilst I had these birds in here. So we'll start off at the top. We have the yellowhammer pair, so the yellowhammer cock and the yellowhammer hen. These will be breeding outside in a flight. Obviously I've just put some cover in there to make them a bit more comfortable. Then they've got a nice diet of a greenfinch mix at the moment, and some finer seeds, as well as a couple of mealworms. We come down here, this is the greenfinch mule pair. So we have the Norwich cock with a decent greenfinch hen normal there. I've put them in here so they can get fit. Obviously a much better solution than getting fit in a rather smaller cage. If we just move the pair along, obviously as you can see they've got a decent room to fly across there, so that'll help get them fit. And then coming down to the northern birds, in here is the pair of bullfinches and the trio of Siberian goldfinches. So really looking at almost all the birds now. The cock, bullfinch is just there. So that's the northern birds, and actually the last birds we're going to look at today, because I've taken you through everything that I've got now. Obviously the bullfinches produced me an absolutely fantastic youngster this year, which got me first place in the northern section in the Natives and Norwich show. He has been rehomed now because I didn't have an option to get a hen in for him. But hopefully we should produce some decent cockbirds again this year, as well as some pastel hens, because the cock is split for pastel. As it goes for the goldfinches, I haven't bred them. Obviously I got those in September, you may remember. So that's the northern birds, and that's the last birds to take a look at. So as I mentioned earlier, we are going to take a look at a couple of showbirds. Now I've got three birds in mind for this. The first we're going to take a look at is a greenfinch hen I bred this year. She's absolutely fantastic. She's been in the flight, she's been fit and everything, and she's really quite a cobby bird and really nice, good feather quality, good colour. I think it's a yellow bird as well. So we'll take a look at her first. Then next will be a siskin hen who I bred this year. She's a really nice bird, and I'm very pleased to have that, and I will be breeding off her, which is the plan for this year. And then after her, we've got we'll do 2 red polls. So I'm going to show you first a red poll I bought in from Jack Lloyd, a really cobby red poll, normal red poll hen. She's a really nice bird. She's the best red poll I've got, as a normal anyway. And hopefully we will breed her this year. She will be going to the new mutation, well, normal pied cock. It will probably be right to refer to. And then we'll take a look at probably the best cobalt hen, because they're from, ultimately, I think you could call one of the top lines, obviously, which took gold at the World Show last year with the cobalts, which is nearly a year ago now. So it's not that exact bird, obviously, which won the World Show. It wasn't my bird which won. It was actually the chap I got the birds from, and actually bred that from that line. So we'll take a look at those. It's going to be 4 main show birds. Obviously I don't want to take the crossbills out if they're breeding flights and disturb them, but these are my best birds. So arguably my best green finch hen is this bird right here. Now this is from Paul Meek's line. I bred her with along with 5 other hens this year. Now she is paired to the Norwich cock for this year. I probably will try her in with another green finch cock towards the end of the year, but we'll have to see how the pair perform. But as you can see, she's a really cobby bird. She's got a lot of shape to her. We've got some good markings down the flanks and obviously on the chest. I think that's I believe that's probably a yellow bird. I think that's what you would class as a yellow, but I would probably have to take another look. But either way, that is what I would say is my favourite green finch hen. Her mother is a great quality bird, and her 2 other sisters are great as well. The other 3 wasn't anything too special. They hadn't got a lot of weight to them, so I did move them on earlier in the year. So that's my best green finch hen. So next up is one of the previous eye catchers. Now this is my best siskin hen I bred this year. It turns out that this bird actually slipped her ring in the nest, and she was about 10 days old when I discovered this. However, I was very lucky that with her being the smallest bird in the nest, she hadn't been fed as much, and I did manage to get the ring on her in time. And now this, yeah, I'm very lucky as well, because that means I can take her to the shows. But this is the best siskin hen I have, and I think she's a really good example of a siskin hen. Obviously some really good markings down the flanks, which really sets her apart from a lot of the others. A couple of the other siskins that I have are, they haven't got these markings, and I was very thankful and very lucky that I produced this. So she will be going to my best siskin cock this year, who is unrelated. So hopefully we shall produce some really nice youngsters from them. So this is my best normal lesser red poll hen. As you can see, this is actually quite a dark bird, but that is the best colour you can really get in terms of a normal. Really dark wings, a really good chestnutty breast, really fine and really nice markings down the flanks. Obviously what would be ideal is those markings actually joining up into about 3 stripes down the side, but nevertheless it doesn't take anything away from this bird. A really dark cap, a nice bib, and obviously a very cobby bird as well, and very steady. So this is my best normal red poll hen. She will be going to the normal pied cock this year, so we'll have to see what happens there, because the cock she will be going to is actually I would be safe to say a new mutation, and the reason I say that is because he was produced from 2 normals who were complete normals, not split for anything, so sort of spontaneously produced. So we don't know if that's a dominant pied, a recessive pied, or even a sex-linked pied. So I'll have to see. But he will be going to her this year. He's got some good length to him. He's not as cobby, but I'm hoping that with the combination of the cobbiness of the hen and the really good colour of the hen, alongside the length of the cock, should hopefully make some really nice youngsters. This is the best colour variant red poll, which is a cobalt. Now, she's not looking her best. She's a little bit scruffy. She did have a fight with one of the others not too long ago. She's not had a bath in a few days by the looks of it with her feet. And there's a little bit of mess down her back, which has obviously landed on a tail feathers or something from another bird. But either way, I don't think you can take it away from this bird. If she would show herself a little better and obviously put some weight on, she would make an absolutely fine show bird, which she did last year at the National in 2019 when she took Best Novice Hardbill. Yeah, this is a really nice bird, one of my favourite birds I've got in the shed. So this will be going to a normal or a normal pastel this year. So I'll have to see what happens and comes from the pair. But either way, I'm hoping that it'll help cement a line of cobalts, really decent cobalts as well, and something that will probably cross into the line with the normal hen we previously looked at. Just to add that size on and the real rich colour. So that brings me to the end of this week's video. Now, please make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, and you can also subscribe at the end of this video. Just click on the channel logo in the outro, and you can subscribe there. If not, hit it below. Please make sure you turn the notification bell on, so that will notify you every time I upload, so you don't miss any of my future videos. Make sure you leave a like, and that shows me that you've enjoyed this video, and please share this video with someone else who would hopefully enjoy this channel and get more information out of it. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.